Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about a little exchange that's been going on between me and a guy named Armchair Geek, who wrote in and talked about how my response to the Ravi clip was flawed because I didn't know enough about Christianity, and I was just giving him typical sass. So he sent me a private message saying that just point by point why he disagreed, and so I wrote him back a message which I'm going to share with you today, and I'm going to do his comments in a quasi-British accent, and I'm going to do mine in my normal voice. Okay, so also I'm going to post the letter off to the side so you can read the full text of it. I'm not going to read through the full text of his letter, so you can just read that for yourself. Number one, just because Hitler was raised a Catholic does not mean that in his adult life he was governed by Catholicism. Okay, I will admit it's pointless to argue what exact worldview Hitler followed during the time of World War II, as only Hitler can know. However, the general historic consensus is that Hitler never truly forsook his Christian beliefs. In addition, there are numerous quotes from his subordinates during World War II that would indicate that they felt that their action was justified by Jesus. Unless we forget Hitler's quote from Mein Kampf, "By defending myself against the Jew, I am fighting for the work of the Lord." I also maintain that the carnage that occurred in the 20th century cannot be reduced to a godless atheist worldview. There have been innumerable wars and conflicts that have arisen directly from religion. Number two, as for your libraries with works that support evolution, Ravi and myself and a few thousand others would slap your wrist at trying to sneak your worldview in with such data. There is no such thing as evidence for evolution, just as there is no such thing as evidence for creation. Wrong, sir. Evolution has nothing to do with a worldview. It is not a theory in the colloquial sense. It is a theory in the strict scientific definition. There have been innumerable attempts to disprove the theory of evolution, but they have failed. One of the arguments against evolution, that marine mammals could not have evolved from land mammals, has recently been refuted by fossil evidence. By comparison, creationism is widely regarded as pseudoscience and has been refuted by many scientists. For more detailed description, see Ken Miller's presentation on intelligent design. It is usually the first thing that comes up when you type in intelligent design into the YouTube search. In this particular point, my goal was not to align evolution with an atheistic worldview, as it is compatible with religion. However, to compare man to burger wrappers seems to suggest a creationist interpretation of religion, which is incompatible with science. Number three, atheists' approach to sex was bad because they don't understand the complexity of the issue. Did Ravi say anything remotely along those lines in the clip you showed? Yes, at 4:32 of part 2 of his video, he says,
how, for example, do you arrive at a moral definition of what is right sexually? The atheist ultimately reduces his or her definition of goodness to survival. Don't hurt anybody, or if anything two consenting adults choose to do, then it is all right. But reality defies such simplistic solutions.
How is what I said a misrepresentation of this? And for the golden rule point, Ravi isn't saying that atheists stole the golden rule from Christians. Ravi is saying that atheists cannot account for the existence of morality within their worldview. Okay, Wikipedia defines morality as such. Morality refers to the concept of human ethics which pertains to matters of right and wrong, also referred to as good and evil, used within these three contexts: individual conscience, systems of principles and judgments, sometimes called moral values, shared within a cultural, religious, secular, or philosophical community, and codes of behavior or conduct, morality. Using this definition, atheism does allow for morality through personal devotion to natural rights. See my video 6 for more on this. Number 4, and the first cause argument still stands. William Lane Craig is the man you should read on this. Yeah, and there's a whole long quote from this Craig guy that I'm not going to say. But I don't buy it. You are essentially arguing A cannot be true, therefore B must be true, without proving either A or B must be true. The first cause argument does not state that a God, let alone a personal God, was the first cause, just that there had to be one. If we are to believe that the first cause is a necessity, there could be numerous explanations, quasi-potent entities, evil spirits, etc. And why are we to be satisfied with merely acknowledging that God exists because of the first cause? Should we not seek to understand why God is able to influence time without existing in it? How is this any better than believing in an infinite series of events? 5. Does slavery entail a meaning? Yes. A life of servitude is a life that has meaning in its servitude. How could servitude to a master be meaningless? It may not be a meaning you want, but it's definitely meaningful. Okay, we all have our own definitions of meaning. If you isolate your field of inquiry to yourself, then yes, life under servitude of God may have meaning. But if you are to view the entire God-humanity system as a whole, what more meaning does that have than the meaningless atheist's life? Okay, and now my counter-argument, drawing heavily from my own videos 2 and 7. Okay, we cannot state positively that God doesn't exist, as has been showed by Bertrand Russell's interplanetary teacup. However, we can state that the existence or non-existence of a God is irrelevant until he makes himself known. As it stands, there is no empirical evidence for the existence of a personal God. If God does indeed exist, why would he not give everyone incontrovertible proof of his existence? Why would he choose to act exclusively during a time period in which producing accurate and compelling records proved exceedingly difficult? I have created a clear and reasonable list of conditions for God to fulfill in order for me to believe in him. If he is omnipotent, he should easily be able to fulfill them, and if he does, I will have no trouble believing in him. Right, best Drew. Okay. So, Armchair Geek has got my letter now, and we'll see what he does with it. Alright, peace, guys.